All right, let's jump right in. How do you make an AI agent smarter, or faster, or maybe just cheaper? Well, believe it or not, the answer has a whole lot to do with cooking the absolute perfect bowl of ramen. Now, I know what you're thinking. What on earth has noodles got to do with AI? That's a great question from an AI researcher named Vincent. And his answer? It isn't, but it is. You see, trying to get an AI to do exactly what you want is, well, it's a lot like a chef trying to perfect a recipe. So let's get cooking and see what he means. Okay, so first up, cooking by hand. This is the old way of doing things, what we call prompt engineering. Before we had all these fancy new tools we're going to talk about, making an AI better was a totally manual, hands-on job. It was all trial and error, like a chef tasting the broth, adding a pinch of salt, tasting again, adding something else, over and over and over. And this manual loop, man, our source material has the perfect name for it. Doom wordsmithing. It's just this endless cycle, right? First, you write your prompt. That's your recipe. Then you test what the AI spits out. You taste the ramen. Not quite right. So you go back, you tweak the prompt, maybe change just one little word, and then you repeat. Endlessly. It's so slow, it's super frustrating, and there's just no way you can scale that up. And all of this leads to a classic problem that every single developer knows all too well. The impossible triangle. You know the one. You can have it fast, you can have it good, or you can have it cheap. But you can only pick two. And with that manual doom word smithing we just talked about, getting a good result usually meant you had to sacrifice a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money. So you gotta think there has to be a better way, right? What if, instead of you slaving away in the kitchen all day, you could just hire a whole team of robot chefs to do all the hard work for you? Well, that's exactly what AI optimizers are. They're here to automate the whole kitchen. So what is an AI agent optimizer, really? Well, put simply, it's an AI program whose entire job is to make another AI program better. It automatically tests, analyzes, and then rewrites that AI's instructions, the prompts, to hit whatever goal you set for it. Maybe you want more accuracy or more speed, or just to make it cheaper to run. It's the high-tech automated solution to our messy manual cooking problem. Okay, time to meet the robot chefs. But here's the thing. Not all of these robot chefs are created equal. Just like in a real kitchen, each one has its own unique style, its own strategy, its own philosophy for what makes the perfect dish. So let's meet a few of the big names.
First up, we have what I like to call the brute force chef. This one's an optimizer called MetaPrompt. Its strategy is, well, it's pretty straightforward. It just gets a really powerful AI to dream up a whole bunch of brand new recipes from scratch. Then it just tries all of them to see what works. It's kind of like going to the store and grabbing 10 different kinds of instant ramen packets just to find out which one's the best. Simple, but hey, sometimes it works.
Okay, next up, things get a little more intense. Imagine a full-on MasterChef competition. That's basically the idea behind optimizers like Evolutionary and GPA. They start with a whole bunch of different recipes, a whole population of prompts. The best ones get to be parents, and their recipes are literally mixed together. That's what we call crossover. Then they're changed just a tiny bit, that's mutation, to create a whole new generation of even better dishes. It's a true prompt bake-off, survival of the fittest, but for ramen recipes. But what if you want something a bit more scientific? Well, meet the food scientist. This is an optimizer called HRPO, and this chef does not guess at all. Instead, it carefully analyzes what went wrong. It does a full root cause analysis to figure out the exact problem. It doesn't just say, this is bad. It says, this broth is too salty, and then it prescribes a very specific, targeted fix. It's like a doctor for your AI's recipes. All right, so we've got all these different robot chefs in the kitchen just cooking up a storm. The brute force chef, the master chef contestants, the food scientist. So how do we figure out who's actually the best? How do we judge the perfect dish? Well, for that, you need a proper competition with a real scorecard. And that's where academic benchmarks come in. And the results are in. The winner, with an average score of 67.83%, is HRPO. That's right, the food scientist takes the crown. That super analytical, diagnostic approach really pays off, hitting a nearly 68% score across a bunch of different tough academic tests. Pretty impressive, right? Now let's look at the full leaderboard. You can see HRPO right there at the top, but here's what I really want you to see. Look all the way down at the bottom, the baseline. That's what happens with NO optimization. That's our manual doom wordsmithing. It scores less than 12%. The key takeaway here isn't just that HRPO is good. It's that every single one of these robot chefs, every single optimizer is a massive, game-changing improvement over trying to do this stuff by hand. So, your AI kitchen awaits. But which chef should you hire? Now, it might be tempting to just go with the one that got the highest score, right? But it's not that simple. The best chef for you really, really depends on what kind of dish you're actually trying to make. So let's break it down. How do you choose your chef? Well, if you already have a pretty good recipe and you just want to make it a little better, Metaprompt the Brute Force Chef is a fantastic choice. But what if your dish just tastes wrong and you have no idea why? That's when you call in the food scientist, HRPO, for that deep root cause analysis. And hey, what if you want to get really creative? If you want to invent a completely new kind of ramen that no one's ever seen before, then you want an evolutionary chef to explore all those wild and diverse possibilities. See? Different chefs for different meals. So think about how far we've come. We've gone from that tedious manual doom wordsmithing to having a whole kitchen full of automated expert robot chefs ready to go. The tools to build smarter, faster, and more efficient AI aren't some far-off dream. They're here, right now. So the only real question left is, you've met the chefs, what perfect ramen are you going to teach your AI to